Whether you are looking to build a new career or kickstart that new idea that you've got,
Microsoft Reactor connects you with the developers and startups that share your goals.
Learn new skills, meet new peers, and discover the latest in technology.
Events are running around the clock, so join us anytime, anywhere.
Reactors are communities to connect. We want you to meet real developers and entrepreneurs just like you. Here you can get skilled up and learn from our product experts in the Microsoft Cloud and in open source. So watch us on demand and share your own perspective as we live stream in communities all around the world.
Hey everyone, very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, who all are joining us globally. I am Parth Varu, Events and Program Manager for Microsoft Reactor India. I hope you all are having a crazy summer in India. And before we start our today's event, let's go through our code of conduct. Yes, we are all here to learn together. So please be respectful of other people's views, understanding their differences, be kind and considerate in a way we all engage. Yes, we do encourage you all to participate, but please drop all your questions in the chat section and we'll pick it up from there. I'll not delay the more. I would like to bring in Kunal, our guest and host for today's event. Leverage Azure OpenAI with Copilot Studio, and I welcome you all once again to the MVP Connect. Hey, hi Kunal, how's summer driving you?
Hello, Parth. The summer is crazy, really hot and humid in my place. I'm from Ahmedabad, but yeah, even I think nowadays this Azure AI and OpenAI and Copilot is hotter than this summer. So let's dig into this Copilot and OpenAI session. Hello, everyone.
The floor is all yours, Kunal.
Thank you so much, Parth. Good evening, everyone. I'm Krunal Trivedi. I'm a Microsoft Certified Trainer, MCT India Regional Lead, as well as Microsoft MVP for Azure. This is my 6th year as an Azure MVP. In my daily life, I provide training and consultancy for various IT MNCs in India, in America, in UK, Singapore, Middle East. Recently, I published a book on AI 900. You can grab the copy from the Amazon. Well, I'm here and I'm going to discuss how to leverage your own data with Azure OpenAI and the Copilot. Let me share my screen. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. The session is more focused on practical. We will see how to work with OpenAI and the Copilot together. I don't have much theory, but when we do the practical, I'll discuss all the important topics here. Now here what you need, we need 4 things. First, I need my data. Now my data could be anything. It could be from the Azure Blob Storage, it could be any AI search site, it could be a local file, it could be Cosmos DB, it could be RDBMS, it could be anything. So first I need my data. Once I have my data with me, on my data, I'm going to implement Azure AI Search. So I'll take Azure AI Search Service. I will create index, or we can say I will index my data. And once I have this indexed data available, that I'm going to consume in my Azure OpenAI. Now, we know that when we work with Azure OpenAI, we get all these latest and greatest GPT models, daily models, and all. And these LLMs works with a generic data on which it is trained. Now, in today's world, what happened? Say startups or even any company who are using these OpenAI models, they are curious about how to leverage their own data on top of OpenAI, Azure OpenAI. Now there are two approaches. First, we can create custom LLMs, or we can create custom models which just use your own data. And second, we can use custom data in existing LLMs, in existing OpenAI services. This is the replacement or say alternative of creating your custom models, because creating the custom models are very costly, time consuming. At the other end, if you inject your own data into existing LLMs, you can get the same thing. Here, when you prompt anything to your OpenAI, Azure OpenAI models, it will not respond you from this widely available data on which it has been trained, but it will give you response from your own data. And then we can also use Copilot here. When you work with this Azure OpenAI with the custom data, again, one problem is what? You have to inject your data files. And you will inject data files even the data is indexed. But say you want to use some real-time data, it won't work here. So what you can do, you can use Copilot. In this Copilot, you can also have real-time data. That means you can take the data from some websites, some live data sources. Also, you can have your indexed custom data. So we will see all these four things practically. So let me start my environment here. So I'm here on my Azure environment. First of all, let me create Azure AI Search Service. So I'm just going to provision Azure AI Search Service. I just click on create. I have my pay-as-you-go subscriptions. I'm going to create new resource group. I just write Azure OpenAI with Copilot. So this is my resource group. I write a search service name. It is a search Azure OpenAI with Copilot. I'm just going to host it in the East US region. Rest, all the settings are same. I just click on review plus create. And I just click on create. So it will provision my search service in a minute. Once this search service is provisioned, I'm going to use the sample data which is provided here, and I'm going to index that data. One more thing to remember, one more thing to draw your attention here. When you work with Azure OpenAI services, you need permissions. You need access to get that Azure OpenAI services. For that, you have to fill in the form. It will take generally 24 hours or sometimes more than 24 hours, and then you'll get your permissions over there. So here you can see my AI service, AI search service is up and running. I'm going to create index here. But before that, let me import my data. I click on import data. So this is what my data, and I'm going to create index on this data. I'm going to use existing data source. In here, you can see I can have samples. Even I can use sample data sources, sample database provided here. I can use SQL database, SQL server on Azure VMs, Cosmos DB, blob storage, table storage, SharePoint Online, etc. I'm just going to select samples. And I have two samples available here. One is real estate US sample and one is hotel sample. I'm just going to use hotel sample here. I just click on next, add cognitive skills. So here I can add enrichment. It is like I can attach it to various skill sets. What the skill set can do, I can extract particular information from the given data, like extract people names, extract organization names, locations, key phrases, detect languages. I can store it to a specific knowledge store that is out of the context. So I'm not going to do that thing right now. I just click on skip to customize target index. Again here, what fields are retrievable, filterable, sortable. You can see here I get all my tables along with the column names like hotel ID, hotel name, descriptions. I have the table called address. I have a table called rooms. So these all are my tables along with the column. I just click on create an indexer. And my default indexer name is hotels sample indexer. What I'll do, I will copy it and I will just paste it here. I just paste it in my notepad file so I can use it later on, and I just click on submit. Here this is a scheduler, but this is a once only because on the samples or existing data source we cannot have hourly, or we cannot configure the scheduler. It will be just a sample scheduler which runs only once. So now here if I go to indexes, this index is available. I go to indexes and you can see 50 out of 50 documents are indexed successfully. So first step is what? I get my data, I create index on my data. Now second step is what? I'm going to create Azure OpenAI service. As I told you, you need permission to get access of these Azure OpenAI services. Even you might have different models once you get these service permissions, depending on your region, depending on your subscriptions, or the form what you fill in. I might have my different models and services access available here. So I'm just going to select Azure OpenAI. Just click on create. I'm just going to put it into the same resource group, East US region. Service name is Azure OpenAI Copilot demo. Standard tier I'm going to select. I just go to next, tags, and I'll just create it. So I'm going to, so this is going to provision the service here. I can show you the form, what you can fill in to get OpenAI license. Just say Azure OpenAI license. Meanwhile, the service will be deployed here. Okay. Once this service will be provisioned, what I will do, I will create model deployment here. For that, I'm going to use GPT 3.5 turbo model. So the service is up and running. I just go to the service here. And I click on model deployment. I click on manage deployments here. And it will take me to Azure OpenAI Studio. Yes, you can see as of now I'm here in this Azure OpenAI Studio and we do not have any deployment. So I'm just going to click on create a new deployment and I can select the model. Now, as I told you, the models what I get here could be different from the models what you get depending on your region, depending on your the form what you fill in to get the access of this Azure OpenAI service. So here I'm just going to select GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K, but okay, it says it's not available. I can go to, okay, so it's different. I don't have any service available here. Just go here and I just go to say existing quota. Just give me a minute. Let me go to Azure portal. Sometimes it works weird because I don't have any service available. Yeah, I don't have anything here. First here it says I have consumed the quota. And I just want to check it is my Iowa Technolabs organizational account. That is what I'm running here. Okay, this allows this one, 4 to 16. Let me do one thing. Let me just close all this and let me open in new incognito mode. Just give me a second. I'm just going to open it in new incognito mode. Give me a minute. I'm just signing in here. I think now it should be up and running. What happens? The previously provisioned services were still there. Yeah, and you can see it's up and running here. So yes, so I'm just good. So what I did on my Azure portal, I had, just for your information, friends, here I had these previously deleted resources. So I just select those resources and I just purge them. That's why it was not allowed me to create this model deployment. I just go to create new deployment. I select the model here. I'm going to use 3.0 Turbo 16K, provide the name. I just write, say, Azure OpenAI Copilot. I'm also going to select his name and paste it in my notepad file. So I'm going to use it later on. And I just click on create. So here we have this model would be deployed successfully. So up to this point, what we did is we have just provisioned Azure AI Search Service. We index, we import the sample data, we index that data, and now we provision one GPT 3.5 Turbo 16K model deployment on my Azure OpenAI service. Now to test it, let me go to completion. Before that, I can tell you one more thing here. Here you can see this is the model version, this is the capacity, status, model retirement, content filter. The default content filter is there. I just go to chat playground where I can test how this model works. So here you can see left hand side we have various parameters, and here you can see this is what my deployment name, Azure OpenAI with Copilot deployment. I'm just going to write some data here. Say I am going to New York for 4 days. My budget is $400 per night, and I need a hotel that sleeps 2 people. I would like to be near the major tourist attraction. Let me copy this data so I can use it in future. No need to write it. So right now I don't have my own data. So my GPT model is working on the huge amount of data on which it is trained. So now when I just hit enter here, you can see it will give me the does not exist. Okay, so we just need to wait for a few more minutes and we'll see, because just recently we have deployed it. So let us wait for a few minutes extra. I think now it should be there. Clear chat. Yes. Still we need to wait. It's okay. We'll wait for a few more minutes and then we'll see how it works. Because here we already have this open API. If I go to model, deployments, my deployment is also there. I can go to chat playground again. Clear chat. Wait for a few minutes and then we'll see. But if you understand here, as of now, I'm working with this open data. Strange. Let us actually wait for 5 minutes exactly. Or what I can do, I can just go to models deployment. It is working fine. Here the model is deployed. Even if I check it out, this model is there. Yeah, and now you can see I get some response. So we just deployed the model and quickly we were trying it. It says wait for a few minutes and then try it again. Now when I try, it gives me some answer. But again, this answer is based on the huge amount of data which it has. It's not having our own data. And as a startup, I am focused, even if I'm a non-startup, I am working with a few of my major IT consultants, major IT customers. We are focused on our own data. We don't want to work with this generic data available with these GPT models, right? So now what we are going to do, we are going to add our own data here. And as I told you, it is replacement of creating your custom LLMs. So I'm just going to click here on add your data. I click on add a data source. And here I'm going to select Azure AI Search, but you can see we have Azure Blob Storage, Cosmos DB, Elasticsearch. I can provide a website URL, but make sure this URL has, this website page has all the data, right? Or even I can upload the files. I'm just going to select Azure AI Search here. I get my search service name, and I should get my index name here. Yes, I get my index name. I'm going to use custom field mapping. I mean, from this index what I've created, I'm going to define what are the columns, what are the fields which holds my actual data. So I just go to next, and I say my content is here in the description field and in the category field. File name is hotel ID and title is hotel name. I don't have any URL here. I just go to next. Here we have search type. I have the keyword search, but you can have, again, depending on your licensing, you can have vector search, you can have keyword search, you can put both of them together. I have just keyword search. I don't have vector search here. I just go to next and I just click on save and close. So here you can see now I have this data ingested, and I'm interested in my custom data now. So I clear the chat session, and now if I put the same message again, we will see the answer would be different than what we previously had. You can see it just suggests me only one hotel, the Secret Point Motel. Last time it was giving me the different hotel list. Also here you can see it gives me the reference. From where does I get this result? When I click on this part 1, you can see even it will show me the citation. Like, okay, this is the point from where does you get this data. So now I am not focused, or my model is not getting data from this huge data. It's focused on the particular data, what is ingested to it. I can have one more question here. Say, okay, I can also add system message. I just go to prompt. I go to system message. Right now it says you are an AI assistant that helps people find information. I'm just going to add my own message. Say you are a travel agent who is an expert in finding hotels and tourist attractions that match what your clients are looking for. Your tone is friendly, helpful, and witty. And I just apply these changes here. So I set the personality of my agent now, of my model now, and let me paste the same data. And this time you can see it says based on a budget preference for being near major tourist attraction, I recommend this hotel. So this is what is now giving me the same answer, but in the personality what I set having in the mind. Now let me add one more prompt here. Say I want to go for Broadway shows on Valentine's Day. So let me write it down. Say what Broadway shows should I see on Valentine's Day? And if we see the output what we get, it says requested information is not available in the retrieved data. That means the document which I have indexed, the sample data what I have indexed, is not having any data specific to this question. Also, if you try to understand my question, I am asking more, what you can say, live questions, right? I'm not looking for the index data, but it's a live data what I'm looking for. And we cannot add that data here. So now what the situation is there, I have my index data from where does I can get the response. But if my client asks for a particular live content, right, it's not available here. And we can mix them together. We can sort it out. What we can do for that, we are going to take help of our Copilot. So as we discuss here, we have a very sophisticated model connected to the data, but not connected to the internet. So we can't get the real-time information. We will figure it out, this thing, using the Copilot. So now what I'm going to do, I click here on deploy, and I have two options. I can deploy to a new web app. I can deploy to a new Copilot in Copilot Studio. Now, please remember one thing. To work with this new Copilot Studio here, you need organizational account. You can't sign into this Copilot Studio with your personal account. Now, I tell you one real-time problem what I face here. Initially, I had this Azure subscription on my personal account, and I create the model here. And then when I try to deploy, it says you can't deploy to Copilot Studio with the personal account, then I create the organizational account. Now both are having different tenant, right? And as a result, I was not able to connect my Copilot Studio with the Azure OpenAI. Even I try to add a user, I try to provide contributor role or say developer role or even say co-admin role to my user in my organizational account, but both had a different domain, so it was different tenant, so it was not working. So make sure in this case you have the same tenant what you have in the Azure subscription with this personal account in the Copilot Studio. So here I'm just going to click on new Copilot in Copilot Studio. Yes, it's going to open my Copilot Studio. Yes, done. It's asking me to provide Copilot name. I just write Hotel Data Copilot. I just want to use English language, but we have all the languages available here. I don't want to provide my website here, but I will show you how to provide real-time data from the website later on. I just click on create. It will take a minute to get your Copilot up and running. Yeah, so it's almost done. Yeah, so we got our Copilot. It's up and running. I'm just going to close this one. Okay, now next step is what? Here we are going to select this Manage Generative AI, because to work with OpenAI and Copilot here, we have various topics available. Few are the system topics, few are the topics like goodbye, greetings, a simple topic. It is nothing but the flow of your conversation. You can add, say, greetings topic in the beginning of the conversation, then you can have your simple topic, then you can have goodbye topic, like that. Now here I want to work with a topic which is conversational boosting, which is not available by default. So what I will do, here I have this option, boost conversational coverage with the generative answers. So I'm just going to toggle it on. Once I toggle it on, I'm just going to click on save button here. Just wait for a second and you will see the changes are saved. Now, when you go to topics, you have the system topics, and here we have this conversational boosting. Even I am directly going to use conversational boosting. Otherwise, what you can do, you can have your own custom flow like greetings, then your some another task, then conversational boosting, then end of the conversations, then goodbye topic, like that. But I'm just going to use this conversational boosting topic directly. Fine. Okay. So these topics are topics is available. Here I have to configure my data source, and I click on edit here. You can see we have various options available in the data source. Here, like I can add my public website, I can use SharePoint data, and here we have this option like add Azure OpenAI connection. I click on add connection, and I'm just going to select this OpenAI connection here with me. Now I have to define the API version as well as the deployment name. Now what is this deployment name? The deployment model, or you can say the model deployment, what we had in our OpenAI that we have to provide here. We also have to provide the ChatGPT 3.5 Turbo 16K model what I have used. I have to provide this API version also. I'm just going to select, I have to configure these properties here. So I just click on connection properties. Now first they're asking me to provide deployment name. I go here, and if I just go to deployments, look at this is my deployment name, A OpenAI Copilot. I'm going to provide the same name, A OpenAI Copilot. Fine. Now they're asking me to provide API version. Okay. Now how to get this API version? Very simple. You just go to this completion API, this chat playground again. You just click on view code, and if you scroll up here, look at this thing. This is what your OpenAPI version. I'm just going to copy this version here. And I'm just going to provide this API version. This is done. Now maximum tokens in response, I just provide say 800 tokens. Temperature parameter, again here in the temperature parameter I provide 0. 0 means you can see very static response you get every time. 1 number is more dynamic response. You can have between 0.5 0.7. I just go for 0. Top P parameter is also there to use or say to control the output what you get, but I mean that we are not going to discuss right now. But again here I'm just going to put 1 number. It is like how many equivalent characters or words it will look for. So I just put just 1 number here. I don't have any stop sequence. I don't want to provide any stop sequence. Now I go to model data here, and I'm just going to click on add data source. I have to provide the index name. Now this is the search index name what we already have. So I have this search indexer here, hotel sample indexer that I'm going to provide. Content data. In the content data, if you remember, when I create the search index, I had the field mapping, hotel ID, hotel name, descriptions, category are the field. So I have to provide that from this index, which fields are having your actual content. So I'm just going to provide, say, for example, description, add. I also have content in category. Just click on add. So descriptions and category here. Now if I put title, title is there in which field here. In my case it is hotel name is having the title. Also we don't have any URL here, we don't have any file name, vector data I don't want to provide. Query type I can just provide say simple query. We have system message. I'm going to provide the same system message that you are a travel agent. So let me copy and paste my existing system message. Again, it's going to define the personality of your Copilot. It is the same system message that you are a travel agent who is expert in finding hotels and tourist attractions that match your client interest. Your tone is friendly, helpful, and funny like that. This is what I did here up to this point. I don't want to limit anything here. But now, even if I just, let me just click on the save button before we go ahead. So I'm just going to save this thing. Now, as of now, you can see it will grab me the response from the index data. But as I told you, I also want to connect the live data. So again, here in my data source, the first option is public website. So here you can see I have this Azure OpenAI index data, and I can also provide public website. I can provide SharePoint site. So I'm going to mix everything here. So I'm going to provide a website URL. It is like broadway.com. Now this site provides information about the Broadway shows. So I just click on add here. So even this public website is also added, data source is also configured, and yeah, that's it. That's pretty simple. So I'm just going to click on the save button now. Okay, it's done almost. So now let us see how it works. So I'm just going to provide the same thing. Say I'm traveling to New York. And I enjoy art and theater. Where should I stay? And what should I see while I am there? Yeah, let us see. So here you can see I get all these details, like where I should stay and what I should see. And also here you can see it provides me the link of these Broadway theaters here. So this data is coming from my live data. This is the live data. And the hotel information is coming from the document what I have saved. Now let me ask me a very simple question, say the same questions here, what we used to ask. Say I would like to near major tourist attractions and my budget is say $400 per night. I need something that sleeps 2 people. And now let's see here what we get. Okay, so still it's saying is I can't understand. Okay, fine. Let me assist me to get a hotel room near major tourist attractions in New York. My budget is $400. Let's see what we get. Still it's not, I mean, it's working weird. Okay, let me ask one more question here. Say, the same question and say, suggest me a show to watch with a kid. Now let's see what we get. Yeah, and now it's working fine again. So it gives me where to stay, visit this museum and explore the museum. And also it shows me, okay, just see here, bringing kids to Broadway shows. And it shows me the shows which are suitable for the kids here. Also, let me say, what should I see with a 9 years old kid? So let us see what we get here. Yeah, and it says me this. It gives me 2 links. It says this is the best Broadway shows for kids in 2024. So you can see now I'm getting the live data. I also have my hotel data. From where does I get all these answers also? So now I have the live data. I have my index data. I deploy it on the OpenAI, and now I'm connecting it with the Copilot Studio. Just to keep one thing in mind, make sure to work with Copilot. You have your organizational account. Your personal account will not work here. And for OpenAI, you need access. I can even show you. Azure Open. So this is the form. Say we have the limited access to Azure OpenAI service. So when you just go there, we have this registration process. And here we have this registration form. You need to fill in this form. So once you fill in this form, first name, last name, how many subscriptions you have, you need to provide your subscription ID here, your company name, street address, zip code, phone number and all. And then you have to mention which OpenAI service you want to use. Also, you have to make sure why you want to use here. Like for example, if I select GPT-3.5, then it will show me the use cases, what I'm going to use, like chat and conversations, chat and conversation creation, code generations, etc. So once you get it, then within 24 hours, you will get the access, then you can work with it. But again, here you need, for OpenAI, you need to get this access. For Copilot Studio, make sure you have the personal, you have the organizational account, not the personal account. And to connect them together, make sure your both accounts are having the same tenant. So that's what we should keep in mind here. So yeah, we are done almost. So I'm open for any questions. If you have, feel free to ask me the questions. Yes, Parth? I think Parth would join us in a second. Yes,
Hi,
Parth.
Kunal.
Yes, Parth. So yeah,
Excuse me.
we are done for the session and open for the questions.
Yep. So we have a few questions coming in, like from Kashif asking, like, I think there is no price data referred in the Copilot.
Yes, there is no price data referred, correct, as of now. But again, this is in the preview mode, so we don't know what exactly pricing tier we get once we get the final general availability of this product, Kashif.
So we have another question from Benny. Benny asks, like, can we integrate the chat in our platform?
Yes, so initially the name was Power Platform. Now it is like, Copilot, but yes, you can integrate it. I can show you here. Just let me share the screen just a minute. Okay, let me share the screen where it is. One second now. I'm looking for this StreamYard. Yeah, I'm there. Parth, I'm connected here.
Yeah, you are there, but I can't see your screen coming up.
Yeah, even I think I'm not getting that.
You should be able to have a present platform and then
Yeah, even I think when I'm looking for that,
entire screen.
yes, and when I'm looking for that presenting platform, right? It is not there. Hold on, it should be there. Yeah, now I get it, Parth. I'm just sharing the screen and yes. So if you see friends here, when you just edit your data source, and even when you just go here, Say, for example, I already have this OpenAI, but say even I just say remove this data source. So let me just remove this current model. I just go to add connection. And here you can see we have this option Benny, that is manage connections in the Power Apps. When you click here, it will take you to the Power Apps, and that is how you can manage connections from the Power Apps, Benny.
So Benny has another question
Yes.
saying, can we connect the AI for database with dynamic data?
AI for database with dynamic data. Benny, would you please elaborate the exact question, what you want to connect?
So meanwhile, Benny replies, I think there is one more question from Kundan.
Yes.
Kundan asks, like, how can I put my personal account and office account on a same tenant?
No, so that you
Yeah.
can't do, Kundan, right? That you can't do. So even initially, I faced a lot of issues getting this thing right. I took help from some Copilot teams, product groups also, and then I realized ultimately you need to create new account, right? So what I suggest, you have your personal account, get Azure subscription on the personal account only, and on that account only you also sign up for the Copilot. Right. In my case, practically, I have Azure subscription on my personal account, which is say MVP subscription, and Copilot is here with my organizational account because Copilot needs organizational account only. So what I did for organizational account, I get the new Azure subscription, and that is how I used to manage it. Otherwise, you can't put them together.
Great. I hope that answers your question, Kundan. So we have Benny's question. If I have a database that could be changed and I want that AI will respond answers based on the data that is existing now.
So, Benny, like you can do what you have to do. Even you have your custom database, you need to create index on your custom database. So, for example, you have your RDBMS or you have PostgreSQL, right? This is what your RDBMS system ultimately. Now you have say 100 employees over there or list of 100 products. You index it, and now your model is working on those 100 items. Now say tomorrow you get 110 products. So what you have to do, you have to run your indexer again. So here you can have the schedule, like run on every 1 hour, runs once a day, run once a week, and this way you get the new index data, and then you'll be able to get answer from those index data. But the answer is what, you have to index your data frequently, you have to run your scheduler there.
So we have another question from Asim. He asked, like, what is the estimated monthly cost of this type of solution for like OpenAI custom data copilot?
See, I mean, estimated monthly cost, it's difficult to predict because here we need to understand three things. When I run AI search has the different cost depending on the size of the data, what you have, right? How many times you crawl your data, I mean, how many times you do indexing of your data. Second thing is what OpenAI model, what you create, has its own cost, is having its own token limitation, how many tokens you have, and all those stuff. Third, Copilot has its own cost. So it's totally difficult to predict it, right? But yes, probably based on your requirement, you can figure out what would be the maximum number of token, fine tuning, how many requests you will make in one day. And this way you can just figure out a monthly cost. But it's very difficult to predict upfront.
I hope that answers. Yes. And thank you, Kunal. Thank you so much for joining us today and having an
Thank
exciting session over the MVP Connect. We all
you so
had a
much.
great session. And yes, thank you once again. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Parth. Thanks, Microsoft Reactor, for allowing me and hosting such wonderful sessions. I really like it. Thank you so much, Parth.
Thank you, everyone.